Hi folks, Dr. McGrory here. Whether you're an experienced Connect user or you're brand new to Connect, this video is going to help you successfully create your Connect username. And if you run into trouble, whether during the setup process or any time throughout the semester, if you need to contact tech support for Connect, this video is going to make sure that you have that information. Now there is a note of caution that I need to give you. If your semester or your term, so if you're, for example, in a Flex 2 class or you're in a Swift 3 weekend class, if your term has not started yet, you will not be able to complete this registration process because the course will not be open to you yet. It's going to open on the first day of your term. So for the 2021 fall semester, I'm making this video on Sunday. You're not going to be able to follow these steps until Monday. Now, if you're watching this video in a future semester or term, or if you have joined the class sometime throughout this week and you need to join Connect, no problem. You can start right away. Okay, but your term, your semester has to be open because your Connect materials will not be open to you until then. All right, so let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this important tip right here that says start from the link provided by your instructor. So I'm going to go over to my browser, and the browser that I tend to use is Chrome. Okay, and I have just picked one of my courses to use as a demonstration, and I actually made another copy of it so that I could open it up early. Again, yours is not quite open yet, but I wanted to make sure you had this information. So the first thing I'm going to do when I come to my web browser is I'm actually going to go up to this web address and I'm going to paste the web address that my instructor gave me. Okay, I just did a Control V as in Victor. That's the keyboard command for paste. Control V as in Victor. So I pasted that up here. And if something didn't go right and you end up with like a Google listing of web addresses, then this next step is really critical. Verify that you're at the correct course. Okay, I can tell you stories where students have ended up in like a business statistics course when they were thinking that they were, and they should have been an introduction to business. So just do me that favor. I mean, these things happen, folks, but just do me that favor and double check that you're in the correct course, all right? Make sure, I'm your instructor, Joan McGrory, and this video actually works for students in any of my classes. So I'm going to use this video for anyone who's trying to register into their Connect course this semester. So I'm going to come down here and it says enter your email to join the class. It also says that if I'm already in the class, sign in. This is what this did not say. It did not say if you already have a Connect username. It says if you're already in the class. And so presumably nobody's in the class quite yet, right? So we're going to enter an email address. Now, whatever email address you would like. Oftentimes you are much more familiar with your Gmail, Hotmail, Comcast, whatever email address. And the one that you're not familiar with is the Southwest one. And I understand it because it goes in this format. It's your username, of course the @ sign, but then we have two, count them, two dots, southwest.tn.edu. And so the mistake that a lot of students make is they don't put the first dot, they just kind of push Southwest TN together, or they think the whole email address, which I understand, is like maybe just southwest.tn, or they put a .com at the end of it, but that's not the email address. So it kind of defeats your purpose of, communicating with the system through using your Southwest email. So if you choose to use your Southwest email, let's just make sure that it is correct at southwest.tn.edu. Now, I'm going to make up an email address, which is, very poor practice. And you would not want to do that because if that system needs to email you or if you need to, reset a password, you need to make sure your email address is a real email address that belongs to you. So I'm just going to, I'm going to make one up here real quick. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to click, and I think I've done that one. So I'm going to put demo 1 on there. I'm going to click begin. Now I have to complete this form, which I'm going to do, and then I'm going to click continue. And I'm going to pause the video while I do that just to save some time. The things that I do want to point out to you is most of these fields are required, right? Your email address. Now, what about your first name and last name? This first name and last name must be whatever it says on the class roster. So when you registered to Southwest, even if that's been a couple years ago, and even if your name has since changed legally, if that name has not been updated with Southwest, then please continue to use whatever Southwest has on file. Here, there's two reasons that is important. One, I have to do all your grades manually, and sometimes the names can get so different that I cannot reconcile them. And even when they are somewhat the same, if your last name sorts alphabetically in a different place, you'll actually end up causing me to mess up one of your classmates' grades because you get out of order and it causes me to make mistakes. And so I ask for your help on that. Help me to post your grades accurately because I do. I want your grades to be, all that and more, that you earn. So help me out on that and make sure you're using the first name as well as the last name that is on file with the college. All right, very, very, very important. And I tell you the second reason. The second reason is that you paid for this when you enrolled at the college. And so let's help the book publisher understand that you are that student. If your first name is John, but you go by Chip because you're a chip off the old block, well, the publisher does not know that your first name, that you go by Chip. So let's use John if that's the name, that you have on file with the college. Have I emphasized that enough? Okay, so we've got that. Down here at the bottom, do I have to put a cell phone number in? No, you see that that's optional. But if you want to get these text alerts, by all means, put that in. This is always kind of weird. I don't know. I just leave it at the first one. Why does it say Macon twice? I don't know. I just leave it at the first one. But you do have to agree to their terms of service so that you can then continue on. So I'm going to take a moment, fill this out, click continue, and then I'll turn the video back on. So be patient as it then goes to this next page, and this is where you're asked to confirm your textbook. Double check it, make sure that it's the right textbook, but here's another important piece of information. You're going to retain access into this material for 5 months, 3 weeks, and 6 days. That's almost 6 months. So one semester is about 3 months, okay? This may be important we're living in the times of COVID, folks, and so we don't know what's going to happen. If for some reason you had to withdraw from the course and repeat it next semester, and, knock on wood, right, that I pray that you all stay safe and healthy and that we have a successful semester. But just be aware of that, that you do have almost a couple hours, probably short of 6 months access to that material, okay, to this edition of the book and this material. So I'm going to confirm. Now that also is pretty much true, not just for understanding business, but if you're in human resource management, if you're in personal finance, if you're in one of the other courses where I'm using Connect, look for that number. And Connect likes to remind you when that access expires. Now, as we reach this screen, another common mistake that students make is they exit and you're not done yet. It is very, very important that you click this last button that says Go to Connect in order to finish. And that reminds me to tell you one more thing. The feedback that I have gotten from students is that do this on a computer, sit at a computer for just a minute, whether it's your friends or somebody's. UC takes you, 5 minutes to go through this process. I have received feedback from students who have told me that when they have tried to do the setup process on their cell phone, that sometimes they have some hiccups. Certain assignments you're going to be able to complete on your cell phone, but for the setup, maybe go ahead and use a computer. Before I do go to Connect, I do want to point out that already we're starting to see some customer support information there. So I'm going to click on Go to Connect, And these assignments are only going to be, relevant to you if you're in this particular course. And you know my feelings on this particular to-do screen, and that the correct way to access this is to go to the three bars, to go to classes, click to expand, and then to pick your course, right? This is also, of course, where you are going to log out. Now, while I'm down here, look, here we are again. Do you need help? Do you need to contact support? So I'm going to click on that just to kind of show you that this might be something that you want to go ahead and bookmark on your computer, right? Look at this. I mean, it's worldwide support, email, a live chat option. They do have a phone, but these are COVID times, folks. And so I'm just going to suggest to you that if you can do the live chat, again, I'm just telling you things that students have told me. If you can do the live chat, that's probably going to be a little bit better for you, okay? So really and truly, that's all there is to it. But as long as I'm here, I'm going to point out, because I'm a teacher, I can't help it, I'm going to point out a couple extra things. Also, the first day of the term or the semester, pause is going to be available to you. And one thing that I do in all my classes is if you will go under content, see content right here? Now, again, I'm just using this particular course as an example, but you're going to find that in the content section of my courses, I try to create resources for you. So here's a folder that has all your syllabus information, that kind of thing in there. Here's a folder that talks about, this class meets, and so our teams link. But look at this, connect, help resources. So I provide this list of resources for the different classes that I teach. You want to understand how that I post your grades after the due date. Okay, and that's because I give you multiple attempts and oftentimes unlimited attempts, but multiple attempts. Here's some links to help you get started. And if I click that, did you see it open another tab here? And look at that. Here's all kinds of things. What could be causing my problem, and can I fix it myself? Maybe I can just search for that problem and resolve it. And that's helpful at 2 o'clock in the morning when you are stuck, something's not working, and you're trying to figure some things out. Now, another thing that I give to you in Connect, or I'm going to attach to the email, is this set of, it's a PDF, and it's just kind of a handout, and it's based on some PowerPoint slides that the publisher gave me. And so I'm going to provide this for you. Stay organized, focus on what matters, learn on the go. And they're walking you through what I just showed you, right? They're telling you to fill this out. Don't forget that for us, first name and last name needs to match what's on the official college roster. You see how this is the same, and this is a totally different course, right? And then they're going to click on Go to Connect. But this is the page that perhaps is most important, okay? You can see you can find more support at connectstudentsuccess.com. Find more tips here. This is McGraw-Hill, that's MH, Higher Ed. So MHHE, McGraw-Hill-HigherEd.com. College Smarter, so you might want to look at that. Here's a support web address, right? And this tells you their hours of operation and even gives you an 800 number that you can call, okay? So again, I just want you to have all these resources at your fingertips. Let's see, another thing that I have under here, let me go back to Connect Help Resources. We looked at links to get you started. Here I have this Connect support phone number as well. I have a Connect registration video. These are those slides that I just showed you. So I'm trying to, this is in pause under content. And specifically, this particular folder is Connect Help. So I'm constantly trying to make sure that you have resources you need. So I answer email very frequently, but if I am not available, I do sleep. I do have a family. I have to take time to eat, that kind of thing. I have meetings that I go to, and I do have other classes. So if I'm helping somebody else, then hopefully I've got some resources that will help you get back on track as fast as possible. What I wanted to show you is if I click on this Connect Support, that there's that number, okay, and that kind of information. You can click Connect Support Online. Notice it opened another tab. And what I've directed you to is the help form. So you can come in here and pick out the type of, if you're, say you're a student, you put in your name, your email address. That's where making sure you know the email address that you're using for Connect is going to be really important. And you can go through the product name, and of course we're using Connect, right? And you would just go through and fill this out. And then it's very handy, because then what they may need to do is call you, and if you can be in front of your computer so that you can be on the phone and also doing whatever steps they're telling you to do at the same time, that can be very important. So that's really all I wanted to show you. Getting your Connect username, start at that web address. If you run into troubles, you've got the tech support. For this initial setup, it cannot happen until the first day of your term. Okay, so make sure of that, and make sure that your first name and last name agrees with the college roster. All right, so we're going to have a good semester, folks. I know this is a lot coming at you, and you guys have done great. You're on task and you're ready to begin, and that preparedness is about to pay off. Okay, it always does, and you're going to see that, because you're going to say, oh, okay, this is all I have to do. Okay, I'm going to add one more thing. You ready? You ready? While you're in pause, and I told you, go under content, right? Because I have so many things set up for you. In my classes, I tend to require an attendance quiz. Now, oftentimes you're going to find that in your assignments. See how you have an attendance quiz, and you also have a required discussion where you need to introduce yourself. And you'll see links to that under content. These things in pause, take a moment to explore pause, are also available under assessment. So for example, if I need to post my introduction, I'm going to find that under the discussions. If I need to take an attendance quiz, I'm going to find that under quizzes. And you know what else? You can follow your grades. You know how teachers oftentimes have that green grade book, and we write your grades in that grade book, and you come up to the instructor. In my day, we went up to the instructor and we'd say, can you show me my grades? And the teacher would have to try to cover everybody else's grades so that you could see just yours. Well, you have access to that grade book. You can look at your grades anytime by clicking on this grades link. And we'll talk more about these kinds of things later, but don't forget about pause. We're focusing a lot on Connect, but don't forget about pause, all right? So while you're in Connect and you're looking at like the slides and stuff, go ahead and knock out that first attendance quiz, because you get your points for that, and go ahead and do your discussion introduction, because you get points for that too. All right, we'll be talking to you soon, folks. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Thanks. Bye.